and welcome to my channel. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I hope everyone is doing well. This is Sunday. I don't know if the video will come out today, but happy Sunday if it does, and then happy rest of the week if it doesn't. So, usually we try to keep it positive, but today we're going to talk about what happened in Kru Town, Liberia. Such a sad incident, and based on this incident, I think a lot of changes have to be made regarding crowd control and safety of the citizens of Liberia. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, last week there was a crusade held in Kru Town, and I think it was Twes Stadium. So there was a pastor having a crusade, and there was one main entrance to go into the crusade, and then I think there were smaller entrances, but those were closed or locked. And so they had their crusade, and as people were exiting, a group of armed men with like knives and other weapons, zokos as they call them, like the grenade, we used to call them grenade boys, the zokos, attacked the people that were exiting, and those people ran, and the people inside of the stadium ran, causing chaos, and some people were trampled. And so I think right now the death toll is about 30. Some articles say 29. One is more than enough. There shouldn't be any loss of life at an event like this. So we're just going to kind of talk about it. They said that after the I read some reports that said after the apostle or the prophet, whatever they called him, Kruma, left, these armed people knew that the people would be exiting, and they decided to rob them, causing people to run in panic, which if I saw some armed men coming towards me, I would be running too. 10 or 11 of the victims were children. A lot of them were women. One was a pregnant woman, which makes this situation extremely sad. When I was in Liberia, there was another crusade or evangelistic evening where they were going to be giving out school supplies, and the people, the parents, basically bum rushed the area, and 5 people were killed in that instance when I was in Liberia. And then this is another sad event. A lot of people, there's enough blame to go around. Some people are blaming the prophet, and they're calling these so-called fake prophets the reasons, blaming them for the deaths. Some people are blaming the authorities in the area for not responding quickly enough or not having security. The town leaders are saying that the prophet set this up without writing to them, so they had no idea, and that's why the other exits or entrances were locked. So there is enough blame to go around. I know that President Weah did declare 3 days of mourning for Liberia, and visited some of the victims, because 29 or 30 passed away, but a lot of other victims went to the hospital, and some people still, and then the Red Cross set up tents around the area, and some people still have not been able to find or locate their loved ones. One man was looking for his 18-year-old daughter. Some of the victims who made it described scenes where they just knew that they were going to take their last breath because they were being crushed. People were just running over them. And so there has been a lot of blame. You wonder why the people go to these crusades in the first place. And they go simply because it gives them a sense of hope. You have this prophet who's probably going to prophesy over you to tell you, God is going to bless you. Things are going to turn around. And sometimes you pay them, you give offering. Oh, give your last. God is going to give you double fold. And so people in disadvantaged areas go to these things because they want to turn around. They get a sense of hope in hopeless situations and hopeless lives. And these pastors who have these crusades or evangelist night or whatever they call them, if they're going to expect a crowd of this magnitude, there should be measures in place for when crowd control is needed. And this is one instance where if you're going to have thousands of people from this community in this stadium, there should have been measures put in place. Then the community leaders in Kru Town are saying that they had no idea this thing was going to go on, had they known that you know, there are keys to the other exits and entrance, but the people in the town knew it was going on. It was well publicized. So even if you weren't approached by this prophet, I think some dialogue should have happened about safety. I hate that we have to wait for something like this to happen in order for us to start talking about what needs to be put in place. I think these prophets that come from Nigeria, that are in Liberia, that have these events, they're making money off of these events. They're selling these miracle cloths. They're selling miracle oil. They're promising miracles. People are giving their last. If you're going to promise that to me and promise that to the people in the communities, then you also should ensure their safety. No more should you be able to have these events where people are basically putting their lives in danger. It could have been anybody. It could have been any one of us with our children in Liberia deciding to go to this revival night, go to this crusade, and it could have happened to anyone. That is the sad realization. It could have happened to anyone. It could happen at a sports event. It could happen at any event. Talk about the people that attack these people. That there's wickedness in that, to think that, okay, these people will be exiting, let's attack them, let's see their cell phone, let's see their purses, let's jack their chin, let's do this. There is wickedness in that, and that small wickedness that you thought you were doing has turned into the loss of lives where you didn't even think that was going to happen. I first read there were one person was arrested. They were still looking for others, and that their families in the community were hiding them. I've now read that 8 people have been arrested for this. I hope, number one, they have the right people, and I hope that justice is served, because this was unnecessary. I do know that there's a sense of hopelessness. I do know that there are lack of jobs. I do know that poverty is there and it's rampant, but that is no excuse to attack innocent people, causing a stampede in which 29 to 30 people lives are lost in a horrible, painful manner, and then many others are in the hospital, and some people still to this day are looking for their loved ones. That there's wickedness in that. There's no excuse, there's no explanation, no amount of suffering can justify what was done. I do want to say that from now on, I think that if people are having these types of events, and they're expecting a certain amount of people, they should be responsible for the payment of having police officers for crowd control. Then if you can't do it, then just make your revival of 10, 15 people. Stop having these mega things that you have no measures in place to protect the innocent people, these women, these children, these unemployed people who going for you to pray over them and produce a miracle, and now 30 of them are dead in the most horrible way. So I do feel like measures and laws need to be in place and strictly enforced, that if you're going to have an event of this magnitude, you should be able to have. Now, if the police can't control the crowd for some reason, you did your due diligence by following the law that has been put in place. But just to have these events and vulnerable people's lives are lost, it's sad and it shouldn't happen. So that is just my 2 cents about this situation. It just really saddened me. Just made me like, how much more suffering can the Liberian people go through? It just made me really sad, and I just had to give my 2 cents. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be done about the unemployment rate. Something needs to be done about the hopelessness that drives these people to these kind of events because they're praying for a miracle. Something needs to be put in place to protect the most vulnerable women and children who were the most in the death toll. That's just my 2 cents. And so I do want to offer my condolences to the families and the victims of the new Kru Town tragedy, because it should not have happened in the first place. And, usually I try to keep it positive, but when things like this happen, we have to talk about it. We have to bring these kind of issues to the light so we can start thinking of solutions for our beloved country. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, comment, and make sure you subscribe, and I will see you later.